Big Frank,
Greetings, sir.
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I think you're the first pastor I had in the house.
No doubt.
Yeah. How things going, man?
It's going good. It's
Yeah.
going good. It's going good. It's been a good day.
Yeah.
Good day. How about yourself?
It's been smooth. This morning I had a meeting with Bishop
Oh, sweet.
Dobbs, and we spoke with a couple brothers in the community.
Okay.
Had a very thorough conversation of what they expect.
Yeah.
It's really, really good conversation. I wanted to bring somebody like you on board.
Yeah.
You're born and raised in Niagara Falls,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's excellent. And what do you do? I know you're a jack of all trades.
So I've bring clarity to that. So born in Niagara Falls, moved to Buffalo at 11, and literally been back and forth between Buffalo and Niagara Falls all my life. That's a simple way to put it. So
Why?
So this is, I'm making the story split. I'm gonna make it split. All right. So my mom got married when I was 10.
Okay.
So we moved to Buffalo. Her husband was in Buffalo. My behavior wasn't the best, so my mom kicked me out, sent me back to my father.
Got it.
So I came back to Niagara Falls, and then in Niagara Falls, my behavior still wasn't the best. I stole from my sister. I'm sorry, I'm preaching now. And then, so my dad had to put me out. So then I told my mom I'm ready to come back home. So I came back home, went to school for a couple years there. Then my behavior, I got in alignment with Jesus, and then I faded back out. My mom was like, "You got to go." So I came back to Niagara Falls, and I completed my senior year in Buffalo, but I lived in Niagara Falls. And then I went to college in CCC for culinary art. Then I skipped classes, went to theater, and realized I wanted to do communication. So then I went to ECC, did communications, and got a job at WFO. Then I was in Buffalo. Then God called me into a different ministry here in Niagara Falls. So I moved back to Niagara Falls. And
Got it.
Yes, yeah, so it's really
Yeah.
back and forth.
You've been bouncing back and forth for sure.
For sure, yes.
Well, what are you inspiring to do now? What is it that you're doing now?
For me, I'm creating a space ideally for creatives. So I have Handley Holding is my company, which is a studio.
What is it called?
Handley Holding Studio.
Okay.
So the concept is to create a space where people can be creative, like do things such as like podcasting, voiceovers, commercials. That's what I desire to do. But also understanding that with that element of creativity, also being in church, to find your balance in between of Hollywood pursuit in the industry and also maintaining your spiritual connection with God and balancing that execution between the two. So what you see on screen, I know because what you see on screen is not the person that I am in real life. That's just the role I had to play.
Yeah.
So don't let that role tell you that I'm out here living foul when it was just a role. So that balance. So
Got it.
that's my golden agenda, to provide a space and just to awaken people's dreams and vision to get to where they want to go.
What inspired you to get into the pastor realm?
So in 2011, I started ministry, and what ended up happening was I really felt unfit and unqualified. But I realized that I have experiences that I survived and that others need to be not just aware of, but people are navigating the same struggles, the same challenges, but ain't nobody talking about it.
Yeah.
Because once you get into the preacher or everybody that you are on a pedestal, no, I have a story to tell.
Right.
So I realized that I had influence and impact, and I'm like, okay, God, I believe you're calling me. So I just answered the call, to be honest with you. So 2011, I started, got into ministry, children's church, youth church, and God has just been gracious and just opening doors for me. And I was like, God, I'm with you. Let's go. Now I say that to make it sound nice, but there's been ups and downs along the journey. But at the end of the day, my goal is to make sure that you're getting where you need to go in life for sure, and have spiritual wisdom in your navigation.
Got it. So with your circuitous journey, like going back and forth between Niagara Falls and Buffalo, you've seen the changes that happened in Buffalo in comparison to Niagara Falls.
Yes.
So what would you say is the dichotomy between the two? What's the difference between the changes that's happened in Buffalo and the changes that are happening in Niagara Falls for you, from your perspective?
Niagara Falls is behind. When it comes down to the advancement, technology, accessibility, those things, Niagara Falls is still operating, I won't use the word old-fashioned, but they're very behind in the advancement of things.
Yeah.
To how we handle bills, and we still got to show up to City Hall. We still got to drive to Lockport to handle certain things. Where in Buffalo, you can go online and just everything's taken care of.
Yeah.
And I think that I won't get too offhand that our arrangements in Niagara Falls have been they haven't been vetted.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's a quick conversation. Oh, let's do it. Then we realize it was a bad decision. Now we have to deal with the consequences of that decision. So we spend more time in recovery than we do advancing.
Backstepping instead of moving forward.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist in Buffalo.
Correct.
But what I'm saying that Buffalo has done initiatives where they vetted the people that they're talking about or with, so that the project that they projected is happening.
Correct.
Because our projects
I feel like ever since I came out here in 2018, Niagara Falls has been stuck in a time warp.
Absolutely.
Just literally remained stagnant. Yeah. And I'm not going to be completely cynical here. I know that there has been change, but it's been a modicum amount of change.
Yes.
Not the amount of change you would expect within 5-10 years.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
And it's like, okay, why is it that we are remaining stagnant and not moving forward in a manner that is indicative of the citizens, not just people visiting to Niagara Falls, but people who actually live in Niagara Falls? Right. What are some things that you can point out to say, like, hey, why are we behind here and where we should be?
So let's talk about the need to invest in the community itself. We've had projects that have just fizzled out over time. But that's life. These things happen. But there's been no plan in place to revitalize or to redo or revamp a thing. So I'll make it plain. Let's talk community centers for a minute. Do we have them? Yes. But when I was younger here, we had a plethora of options. So life happens and things begin to fizzle out. Buildings begin to break down. But there's been no initiative to be like, okay, how can we revamp? How can we revitalize this? So we just let things die.
Yeah.
And when they die out, because we haven't have a plan in place, nothing is done. So it sits dilapidated. Let's talk about the community center on Center in the 4th District. So at one point, funds are mishandled. It's shut down. Things happen. But there's been no plan to bring that back up. So individuals had personal initiative to attempt to make it come alive again. And I've been in there working, trying to clean it up, trying to get together. But there was no true backing from the city or the organizations to really say, this is going to happen. Correct. This is going to get done. So then it sits there. Now it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And so now we have nothing. But we do that not just with community centers. We do that with the community overall. If they're not yelling about it, we're not saying nothing.
Correct. And then there's no real representation to speak on behalf of, let's say, the 4th District or any district for that matter. Well, let me not say any district. Right. I would say in particular the 4th District and the 6th District, which is predominantly us.
Absolutely.
And I think the conversation that I've been having is that it's like in the 4th District and the 6th, it's like a sleeping beast almost.
Yes.
And there's a whole voting base there that nobody really pays attention to. So any cries that may come out like of these districts, nobody really cares because you don't vote.
Yeah.
And if you don't exercise your right to vote, they don't hear you.
Yes. And that's why I say, so there's a two-part to this, because as much as we talk about the politics and the government and those things,
you have to take accountability.
Have to take accountability as ourselves to do our due diligence, and not only just voting, but when somebody begins to yell and scream or to say something, there has to be a backing.
Correct.
And it can't be, I'm backing you for 2 days or here's a good week. No, consistently.
Correct.
I need you to show up to push this change, but you also need to vote and make these adjustments. And if you're not to yell and scream now, you missed the opportunity.
Correct.
Once it hits the table to y'all publicly, the decision has already really been made. So you're late now, So we both have a responsibility to show up.
Correct.
To put pressure on the government as well.
What do you think is like the number one problems in these communities? Well, let me not say number one. What would you say your top 3 problems are? You brought up the community center aspect of it, and I agree that's a major problem, because when you don't give people or these kids something positive to do, they resort to doing something negative typically. So what are some other things that you would point out within our community?
I'll say this: once you've been accustomed to being lied to, or you've been accustomed to being let down, you don't walk into rejection willfully. So saying that, I trusted you that you were going to do 1, 2, and 3. You didn't do it the first time, so we gave you grace. We trusted you again, it still hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Now we know, again, we're still not seeing it done. So now I've told myself, I told my children, I told my grandchildren. So now generationally, we have a concept that says they're not really for us. So now I'm not pushing you to go vote because it has been proven over the years that I've been president that they haven't been for us. So when you push me to say, oh, let's go out and protest, let's go out and do a thing, I'm now triggered by my trauma. Because it's like, hey, no, my grandmother's been yelling. My granddad's been yelling. My mom's been saying they ain't doing nothing no way. Why would I go?
Correct.
So when you have that element of it, it's like, it's the same faces, the same people in the same names. So it's like, that's one element that this trauma that you're talking about, we're familiar with this heartbreak. I'm about to walk into that. No, I'm not to get myself excited again.
For change, and it doesn't happen.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because that becomes a weight.
Yeah.
And then, I'll just be honest, to lose somebody in your family who has been fighting for a city and it still hasn't changed, that weighs on your morale.
Correct.
That weighs on, I'm over it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think a lot of people take that perspective on like, they're not doing anything for me anyway. It doesn't matter how much I fight. I believe that there is the right way of doing things and the wrong way of doing things. I think our people, a lot of the times we just act emotionally instead of practically. Like you have to say practically, okay, what pieces we have to put in place because you have to play the game. You can't get on the field and not play the game. Like you can't take a basketball on a football field. Like it's not the same game. So when we actually play the game accordingly, then we can actually win. So I think right now we have to look at this practically. Okay, what anticipatory steps we need to take as a community to get people involved that represents us and hold them accountable. Don't take this job if you cannot take the heat. If you can't take the heat, get the hell out. So we need to put people that represent us and then they go and fight for us. And if they can't do it, then we replace them with somebody else that can. And I think that's the same type of mindset. We don't need to go out and strike and do all this other stuff. We need to literally like focus, take the steps, put people in places that are going to represent us and speak on the things that we care about. Real problems, give us real solutions for that. That's I believe that's where we're at now. It's like, okay, we're starting to see the facade in government. We're like, okay, no, don't really trust that. You've been there for years, decades, and haven't done anything for us. We need change. Okay, so that was problem 2. Give me another one.
I think your third problem now, because I'm churchy.
Okay, let's go ahead.
So let's talk about it.
I agree. I'm about to agree.
We have a responsibility as a church not just to hype people up on the, like you said, the emotional side of things, but to tell them and teach them how to live well. And if we're not doing that, we're doing a disservice. And what I found out is that for churches, we're, it's the spiritual side, make sure you pray and you meditate and we have that element, but we're not informing the people of how to live well. And meaning that the importance of voting, the importance of what's going on. Part 2 to that is that we don't have, this is gonna be crazy, we don't have representatives for the community inside our churches that we can send to petition on what's going on. And when I say that, this is my concept. If every church had 2 people go to a city council meeting, just 2 people, to represent the concern of the people in the sanctuary, and also report back the information of what's going on, you can bring a greater change in force. That's just 2 people. You got a church on every corner. There's a park literally with 4 churches surrounding it on every side. But if we can activate our people to be like, listen, it is more than just the run, the shout, and the jump. And I think those things are important. But for you to live well and to prosper as we believe God desires you to, you have to get involved in the advancement of the place that you reside.
Exactly.
But we're not pushing that agenda.
Yeah.
But we're there, now we get in trouble, but we open up our doors, political times, for them to come in to feed us again these false hopes.
And that only happens during those political times.
Absolutely.
Right? Anytime there is election season up again, then that's when you start seeing faces. And this is what I said in the meeting. I said, we need to put people, because one of the major things I've seen, especially in this district, there's no transparency. We like what's going on behind closed doors. We elected you. You're supposed to inform us and represent us. How can you represent us if you don't inform us of what's going on? Right. We can't tell you how to act on it. So I feel like representatives need to put themselves in a position where you're talking to community leaders that you represent. Hey, listen, this is what we have right now. This is a policy in place. What do you guys think?
Right.
And the majority votes. And what the majority says, then I will go back with that and say, hey, listen, this is what we need.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Not at all.
And I feel like because that's not happening, then we allow things to just, we become acquiescent. We just tolerate whatever happens after that.
Right.
During a meeting this morning with Bishop Dobbs, one of the things we brought up was the family structure, especially in Niagara Falls. And I don't want to just gun-ho Niagara Falls to this standard, but I feel like we need to really pick it up as a culture.
Yes.
We have to change the standard on what it means to be a father. I think that's the number one problem in our culture right now. And until we cultivate that, we're always going to have these problems.
Yes.
But in conjunction to fatherhood, you need to have a lucrative society. There's no money here. And when there's no money here, people regulate themselves or resort to crime, doing things of that nature. You can't, I can blame somebody for being an idiot, right? But at some point, you have to look at it from objective standpoint. It's like, okay, why are so many people committing crimes here? Why are so many people not paying rent? It's, well, okay, there's no money here. Like, what do you expect to happen?
Yes. So I have a phrase that I say all the time. I say that Niagara Falls is a blank canvas, which means that there's a lot of possibilities and potential in what could come and what could happen. But if you got the wrong painters, the wrong people in the architectural layout of things, we won't excel well because we've invested a lot more money downtown. But let's talk about it. The things that they have downtown, we are, as a community in urban, we are not welcome to participate in. And I say that to say this, that where the money could be, it is not. Because we made these deals with organizations that are not, it's not funneling back to us. It's for their gain, it's for their benefit. It's to say, oh, we did a thing, but we didn't vet that.
It's not replenishing the community.
Absolutely. So that's why you can go down to 3rd Street, hit the 4th Street, and it just changed dramatically. It's not even a gradual.
No.
It's just like,
it's really abrupt.
Change. But we haven't invested the millions of dollars we're spending for dog shelters and Centennial Park. And wait a minute, we can provide something that will help an entrepreneur, that can help somebody who has it. Because let's talk about it. We are people, bad spending habits, but with vision, meaning that we have ideas and thoughts. We don't have funding to make it happen. That's why we got dinners at the houses. That's why we hustling this way or that way. But what happens when you provide an opportunity for us to be well, to get a piece of the finances that does come to the city? You know, so I just think that we can invest differently. As a government. With a real plan. Not just throwing it to Blue Cardinal saying we're gonna do something and realize, wait, you don't have the capacity to do what you said. But to find somebody, hey, I have the financial capacity to help and assist. Let's talk about what we can do step by, like you said, and it takes time to plan properly. But I think that our personal concept is just all over the place.
Frank, you've been in here for so long. You are a leader in the community. Why not get involved in? And I'll give you my perspective, and you tell me what you think, and I'll ask you this question. So, being in business and playing that game, you think that you're in control. You do, because you're in your own bubble. You're working on growing and expanding it, cultivating it, and then you realize you got hit with certain regulations and fines and things of that nature. Like, what is happening? Then you realize the market changes, and not in a good way. And you're like, which changes your business, right? And then so now you have to cultivate it in a manner that is conducive to the environment changing, and it's just like this arduous journey. Then you realize, I realized later on, the real business is politics. One of my favorite quotes is, "Those who don't pay attention to politics will be governed by fools that do." And I think that's what's been happening. We've been allowing fools to govern us and then putting regulations on our creativity.
Right.
You know, so with that being said, why haven't you gotten into politics?
So I'll be as frank as I can be.
Go on, Frank.
What happens is that there is first the lack of information, because there was a time period where I just wasn't aware. You know, we're living day by day, as you said. But to be honest with you, I also considered it. I think it may have been 2 years ago. I started going to the city council meetings on a regular basis. You know, I know Dante prayed very well. I'm like, you know, I understand the importance of being in dual positions. And I say that because for Buffalo's representation, Darius Pridgeon, I watched him and he showed me that you can both be a leader spiritually and assist in what God wants to complete put into politics, if you will.
Yeah, politically.
Politically, thank you. And then, so at first I'm like, I ain't got time. I'm not all that educated. I'm good. It's me, Jesus, and the people that help us all. We're gonna be all right. But I realized that now that it was considered. But right now, the only thing stopping me is not being aware of what it takes to make it happen. Because I understand that, okay, instead of yelling and screaming and trying to protest and being outside, be in a position where you can enforce an internal change.
Correct.
Because as I listen to council meetings and I hear the dialogue amongst those who are leading us now, there's more problems inside among them in execution. So there's no way that I can get the resolve that I want, because they can't even get the resolve among them.
Correct.
So I think that for me, I'm open to the idea of being involved, and what that entails and what that looks like requires me to even dig deeper. So I'm open to it more so now.
Yeah.
So back then, so what was happening was just not knowing and not being aware.
Yeah. You know, the reason why I look at politics so I'm focused on it now is because I know that the profound effect it does have on our community with policies, everything. And I feel like right now, if you want to change and ameliorate this city accordingly, you have to get involved in politics. Whether that be you in an official position or whether that you're supporting somebody in official. I think that we need to get involved and start to say, hey, no, we need this person in charge. We don't need this person in charge. Right. And then once you start picking and we start playing chess, then we have an opportunity to win a game. Yes. But when I say win a game, I say that means creating a salubrious environment for everybody that's in the city. It doesn't have to be just the 3rd district or the 2nd. It could be all districts because my concept is high tide rises all boats. And if everybody's eating, because right now people are fighting for crumbs.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when people are fighting for crumbs, that's when you have lawlessness. And I feel like we need to open up the floodgates to allow real infrastructure investment in here. We need to focus on building stronger households for our community. We need to start focusing on transparency in government, because nobody knows what's going on at all. When I went to the meeting today, they were like, we don't know what's happening over. I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not? And then we need to support entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And I feel like without those 4 key aspects, like, we're not going to have a successful community and not a successful future for our youth at all, But it takes identifying the problem, and then galvanizing people to help ameliorate it.
Yes.
But if we ignore it, if we think that, it doesn't matter, they're never ever going to put you as a priority. Never.
Yeah, and I think that it's like you said, it's time. And as you were speaking in the moment, I just thought about the church overall, not just urban church, but church in general in the region, in the area, that if we really came together, we have people who are retired who just need something to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, how can we aid in the push, the development? What can we do? There's people who need volunteer. Like, there's really a massive movement of how we can assist in the political side of making our community better, because it affects everything. But I think that we have to be bold enough to do it.
Correct.
But the Bible talks about, I called the young because they're strong, but the old because they know the way.
That's the second time I heard that today.
So what happens is that we have people who have been present. You know the way. And we understand that you may have gotten fatigued in fighting, But if you translate the information to those who have a fire and a tenacity to
guide them,
guide them, and we'll go.
Yeah.
But that also requires, you said something earlier, time and preparation. You have time. You've been present. But we take your information and our fire, we can really yield a change that will yield those 4 components that you talk about.
Correct.
Because everybody needs entrepreneurship. We need the ability to grow, to be independent. We need the community to prosper. We need those components. But if ain't nobody fighting or pushing, because we got the complaint part. We got the complaint part. But there's a fire that's like, hey, I require change. If you don't put that pressure on consistently, and with a true strategy, not emotionalism, because you got to do it the days when you're hangry. You got to do it the days when you don't consistently. But when you have a team, you can balance that out. Don't let me drift off.
No, you're good. You're good. And I think that's the problem in our community too. Is like there's a lot of infighting, and I feel like we need true leadership.
Yes.
We need to get all the cooks out the kitchen.
Yes.
Because we need servers. Somebody got to serve the dishes simultaneously. And I feel like we need to put ourselves in a position where, again, we hold leadership meetings, conversations, and then we appoint leaders to represent us, and that's it.
Yes.
And then we take the anticipatory steps of cultivating our city, whether that's more community centers, whether that's parks, whether that's leadership programs, whatever the case may be. We need to literally boil down, top down. We need to establish who are the leaders in our community, get together, and then lead the ship accordingly.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, Frank, like, what are some things that are you excited for this year? Because we're still new in this year. What do you plan on doing moving forward? I know you say you have a podcast coming out soon.
So I have a podcast coming out. It's called Just Conversations. The idea with that podcast is that I engage in conversations, and what comes out of that is organic and natural. Meaning that, hey, is it prophetic utterance? For sure. Is it? I might talk to you about your business and give you more ideas or more concepts. I tell people just get a pen and write it down, because I think that sometimes the conversations just need to be that conversation. Not that I went to church and they got a prophetic word and they laid hands on me. He was real deep and real extra. No, we just talk. You ain't got to talk how you talk. You ain't got to be afraid. If you cuss, you cuss. We just talk. Just be who you are.
Real conversation.
Real conversations, and whatever is produced out of that, you take that with you. So though it's a podcast, it's really for the person that is present in the room, and also those who are watching as well. So I'm excited to do that, because I'm awakening the podcast studio. So I'm working on that studio now. Hoping to be done by the end of the week. I'm being honored for the Buffalo Black Achievers
Award. Congratulations for that.
Here in Niagara Falls. I'm grateful for that.
Who's the presenting the award?
His name is DeWitt Lee.
Now, what's the organization though?
The organization is WFO. I intern for them and work for them. My back and forth, as I mentioned earlier.
Nice.
In the podcast. So I'm excited for that. I'm also looking forward to our church expanding to a new location. We're still searching for another building to go bigger. So I'm excited for that, and we believe that this year is going to be the year. So I'm excited for that. My wife is amazing, awesome. 3 beautiful children, awesome. And she does photography. She models. She the bomb.com. So all these things I'm excited in the pursuit of, because I just thank God for His blessings authentically. But I'm also excited and nervous for this journey of faith that I'm in, because I've been commissioned, help me, pray for me, all right, to leave my 9-to-5 job. And I just did that last week, so the 18th is my last.
Wow, congratulations, bro.
So I'm taking this leap of faith now to trust God, but also to use my time to implement and to execute all the things that He's laying before me. So whether that's politics, business, cultivating other people, okay, God, I'm going to do what you said. So I'm excited to the unknown journey of what that looks like. I have so much that my hands are in, and I'm grateful for that, but also I'm just grateful for who knows what's going to happen.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I have Fire 716 Radio. It's a radio station I launched maybe 2 years ago. It was down for a while. That'll be back up.
Was that the one that was right off of 3rd Street?
Yeah, so we were on 3rd Street, and then we moved to Niagara Street, and on 29th and Niagara Street.
Got it.
And then we're back on Niagara Street now. So that'll be ready with a new branding concept.
Got it. Man, whenever you got that going, let me, bring me on, man.
So absolutely.
Got some things to talk about.
No, for sure. So that's what we got going on. I'm excited for those things. And just to be open to our conversation that we had, whatever it yields. I'm excited for as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so open right now for opportunities. It's like, okay, God, whatever you say.
For sure.
Whatever you say.
Well, Frank, it was a pleasure having you on,
Absolutely.
brother. I really, I always get elated when I bring on people like you, real conversations.
Right.
Not someone that's like savvy in politics, and honestly, because a lot of people, real people, don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And I just think getting the perspective from all angles is imperative. So I really appreciate you, and we were supposed to connect a long time ago. I know we connect randomly, I think in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But we're both out here, and I admire our connection, and I want to cultivate it moving forward, bro. I appreciate you.
No, I know. Thank you for having me because, like you said, your name has been mentioned multiple times, just exchanging. So to actually meet you for real and set this up has been amazing. I'm looking forward to
same here to you.
What you got your hands into.
Yes, sir.
For sure. So
all right, man. Let's work together.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, Frank.